Hey, what's up, gardening friends? Jeff here, Tropical Plant Party. How's everybody doing? Are you good? Hope you're good. I'm great. Well, today is our first day here in St. Louis where we are coming out of a fairly significant cold snap. Over the past 8 or 9 days, we've been below freezing every night, and the coldest points lasted about 4 days, with the coldest temperature being about 14 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, around minus 10 Celsius. I think, maybe, I'm guessing, I don't know. American, I don't know the temperatures of the rest of the world yet. I'm working on it. But it's gonna warm up. And things are really weird here right now. It's like the north is the new south. I don't know, it's warmer here than it is down in Alabama and Texas and Florida. It's supposed to be in the upper 50s and lower 60s, mid 60s, a few days throughout the next 2 weeks. So this is the opportune time. Turn back on, please. Everybody see my fingerprints. To go ahead and assess the cold damage. Now, in a video, I want to say last week, I went through and I sprayed everything with anti-transparent, which is to help the plants deal with the cold, and there was a reason I did that. It's because I knew it was going to get cold. So, let's see how well it worked, and maybe I'll need to spray some fungicides on some things. I don't know. We're going to have to go look and see how things are doing. And as of right now, it is 63 degrees. I have the doors open out here. There's 2 doors. Even though it's kind of cool, it's still nice. It's fresh air. The sun comes in. It's very strong this time of year. It helps warm the pavement. And then when I close the doors, it helps re-release at nighttime. Anytime I can have these doors open, I take it. Even if that means the orchids are a smidge chilly, they'll be okay at 63 degrees. They're fine. I'm not too worried about them. Well, but we're not talking about orchids right now. We're talking about palm trees. Alright, so here we have one of the Mule Palms, and it looks fine. Completely fine. I should take my sunglasses off so I can assess their colors a little bit better. Yeah, let's go around to the other side of it. And even there's one here on the ground. The wind just kept blowing it over, and you'll see there's more palms in the backyard that are blown over. When they keep getting blown over on a windy day, I leave them down. It's going to do less damage to just leave them down and have them keep blowing over. And they're a little bit more protected from the drying winds that way. Alright, now you can see here there's some dulling and some black spotting here, which is indicative of cell rupture. Meaning that the frost got in here and the cells exploded, just like if you leave a soda can or a water bottle or something in the freezer, pops. But that's okay, especially since it's on the older growth. Older growth is hopefully protecting the new growth. And yep, the new growth looks totally fine. I think the new growth looks totally fine. There's some spotting in there, but that's actually, no, that's just fibers that are produced. There we go. Trying to get in here so we can see what we're looking at. No, new growth in the middle looks fine. That's the main concern, is you want to check the center of your palms. Slightly off-colored, but that is not likely from the cold, because it's more of a yellow. That's more of a things are dry and windy, and this needs some supplementation to help sturdy up its bones a little bit. Probably silica blast is what I'll use for that. Alright, so this is the Mule Palm, which is the Butea capitata crossed with a Sarracenias ramanipulala queen palm. Pindu palm and queen palm cross. This is just a Washingtonia filifera. Actually, no, this is a Washingtonian Robusta. Not as cold tolerant, but that's okay. This is what I was expecting to happen with this guy. So what I do with these guys is I give them a tug test. Very gently pull on the crown and make sure it's not moving. This one's going to get fungicide. And here is that fungicide. This is just a liquid copper base. That's important. Copper based fungicide. And I just very lightly spray that down into the crown. You can see it's blue. And I'm not going to soak it because that can just make things worse. However, the air is very dry today, so this should dry fairly quickly. I think the humidity is like 30%, something ridiculous. Alright, now let's go see how the garden looks. Hey. Chinese fan palm looks like it's ready to be protected. Yeah, still some okay growth down low. That's not surprising. But yeah, 14 degrees. That's pretty much what I would expect from this. Also meaning it's time to go ahead and cut these bananas down. They were looking okay until we had those cold nights. So it's going to be time to cut these down, and I protect this whole area with mulch and frost cloth and things. And that'll probably be in a different video. One thing I'm a little bit bummed out about is that the wind blew all the fruit off of my Ponceiras. This is my flying dragon trifoliate orange. Hardy here where I live, and but normally all winter they have these orange balls all over them. Really, they're a type of orange fruit. They're just bitter. They don't taste that great. And it's so pretty, but not this year. This year the wind took the fruit. But hey, you know, the wood still looks pretty cool. Now this Chinese fan palm looks much better, which you wouldn't expect because it's in a pot, but it's in a protected corner. So I'm not entirely shocked by that, even though that is a very warm spot on the pavement. It's exposed to the drying winds. So that's probably what made the difference here, is that this is more protected from the wind. And it looks fine. I was thinking about leaving this outside and wrapping the pot. It's going to lose all of its foliage, but I think I might bring it inside. Because I really like how it's looking, so we'll see. I still have a few weeks, because it's going to be in the 50s and 60s, like I said, for the next several days. Or 2 weeks, really. So that's okay. Looks like these guys have had it. This was a crinum lily here. The thing I check with my crinum lilies is to make sure they're still firm down low. And they are. So this one's okay. Should be fine. And here's a needle palm. I'm in no way concerned about this guy. I've had this needle palm for years. It's actually grown quite a bit. It's still tiny though. But it's fine. No protection, nothing. It'll be fine. Wait, you wanna... Okay, fine. You wanna go inside? I'm trying to work here. Go on. Go on. Get your dog butts out of my video. Windmill Palms. Wasn't really too concerned about these, but here they are. They're fine. They've been protected. This one, the wind kept blowing it over, but looking at its foliage, it's the right color. They are, however, dehydrated. It is so dry here. So I will probably pick these guys up and give them a hefty watering because they need it badly. They're very, very thirsty. And the queen palms. That's about what I expected. So you can see the damaged foliage here from the cold and the healthy foliage in the middle, which was protected. Now I did have a frost cloth over these when it was 14 or minus 10 Celsius, but there's only so much you can do for them. That's pretty cool for queen palms. They're not going to die, however, and if they defoliate, I'm fine with that. They're just going to fit into my grow space better, honestly, without the foliage, but they should be okay. I'm not too terribly concerned. Really not concerned at all. It's just some leaf loss on a plant that grows like, you know, multiple leaves a month. They grow like weeds, so they're okay. I'll treat them with a little fungicide. And the big needles are looking fine too. I have some perennials underneath them that I need to go ahead and move to a warmer spot, but they're fine. No surprise there. Hey, how about that oleander? Looking good, looking thirsty. But for 14-degree temperatures, being in the teens multiple nights, looks fine. Camellia's doing okay too, held on to its buds. And then everything over here is pretty much hardy. Especially this creeping Jenny, which actually looks better to me now than it did before. This is all the stuff that's been sprayed with the transparent, so the anti-transparent. Looks good. But these are some of the things I was the most curious about. These are the Sarracenias, the pitcher plants. And they still look okay. I haven't put these into protection yet because their winter foliage is still pushing out. But I think they're about ready to go ahead and cut back. But because it's going to be so warm in the next couple weeks, I can't bury these in the ground to protect them. It's going to be too warm for them. They're going to want to grow. So I'll leave them out and exposed. Sempervivums, looking fine. No surprise there. They're getting their purpling that comes from the cold. No big deal. Same with these guys. These are... Nope, they're fine. I thought maybe they were rotten, but they're just growing weird. Now this cactus looked like it was dying a few days ago, and I stuck it out. I pulled it from its protection and brought it out here, and it looks better, so I don't know what that's about. I could probably figure it out if I wanted to think on it a little bit harder. But yeah, this whole table's looking okay, especially for how cold it was. And here is that lemon coral sedum from Proven Winners. Now, they rate this as a zone 7. I'm in 6, so I'm keeping an eye on it, but just from feeling the bottom, I can feel that there's damage there. Just because it doesn't say evergreen doesn't mean it may not come back, though, and this is in an exposed pot, so we will see. I don't have high hopes for it, but we will see. And I also like to come into my alacajas and give them a squish check. Actually, still kind of firm down at the base, so that's good. I need to get a bag of mulch on top of these, though. But I need to wait, because if I mulch them now, while they have rot on the outside, and it's going to decay and cause problems. I have to wait. Gotta wait for the real cold to get here. Everything's normally protected by now, but this has been a weird winter. It's not even winter yet, is it? But, you know what I mean, don't you? So overall, things look okay. I mean, I know that doesn't look excellent, but it'll be fine. I was really expecting much worse, so I'm kind of relieved. Happy about all this. But yeah, so there really isn't a ton I can do right now except for remove rotten tissue, like from the base of that alacaja, like I was talking about. I can get in there and pull that out, put a fungicide on top of it, but really I need to allow that to dry. It's going to be warm enough I can do that. If it were going to continue to stay cold below freezing, I would just go ahead and dump mulch right on top of it. Maybe give it a squirt of fungicide. That's not going to hurt anything. But I want to get it covered and protected. But as of now, the air is very dry. It's so dry we're actually under a fire weather warning, which I haven't ever seen before. So that necrotic tissue should clean up fairly easily that was in the base there. The same thing with spraying the palms with the fungicides. The air's dry, and in the 50s and 60s is just fine to be spraying them with that, so they're good. But yeah, if it were going to be staying below freezing, I would go ahead and just bring all these things in and treat them, except for the Windmill Palms. I really push them on their cold tolerance. But they're fine. You saw them. They look okay. They're very thirsty, though. People forget to water their plants in the wintertime, including me. I don't really forget. I get lazy about it because my hoses are disconnected. And so sometimes it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I need to go just do nonstop trips back and forth with my watering can. And I put it off, and I keep procrastinating with it. That's a bad habit. I've been better about it this year, though, because I've just been dunking them in here and taking them out. So much faster. And that's what I will continue to do. So far, so good. And the anti-transpirants help with that a lot, too, because I don't have to water them quite as often. But yeah, okay, that's enough. That was just, a fun little video walking around, looking, seeing how things handled the cold. Kind of like a cold damage garden tour, if you will. Or even if you won't, because it happened. I hope everybody's doing well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below. I love talking to y'all. It's one of my favorite things to do every day. How are things going in your gardens, especially all y'all down south who are getting these random snows and things like that? I'm concerned for you. As a gardener, I'm like, oh my Lord. I would be excited about the snow. Like if I lived in Houston, it would be exciting. But I'd be devastated because my backyard would be full of tropical plants that would not be happy with the snow. So I hope your gardens are doing okay. But as always, hope everybody's doing well, and keep on growing, everybody. Bye-bye.